Okay guys, today we're working on a 2008 Chrysler 300. What we're doing is we have the P0301 code, cylinder 1 misfire. I've already begun the process of taking it out, as you can see. All I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up the plenum here. I hope you guys can see that with the sunlight. I had to wanted to get situated in the sun today so I could have a little warmth. It's a little brisk out here today, I guess you call it. Mississippi. But what we're doing is we're taking out the number 1 plug. That's where we're having issues at. We keep filing out the number 1 plug. So long story short, I had a head gasket leak. Reference word is had. I tried the K-seal. I'll also attach that video. So I was having to add in my reservoir there. I was having to add water every day, about a half a gallon. That's a lot, man. So, you know, pretty substantial head gasket leak. And the K-seal I put in just to try it. You know, I could take the head off and just put another head gasket on. Then you got to worry about whether you should rework the head and all that. But what we're gonna do is we just see, why not try the K-seal and see if it works. So here we are. I'm gonna put another plug into, let's see guys, if I can get this right. I'm gonna put another plug into cylinder number 1 is what we're working with. So, and as you can see, you know, removing the plenum's a bit of a bitch on these. So if you just see, that's what's happening. That's what's happening, guys. Every time. I had the code read at AutoZone and they say 301, so that's number 1. And of course, every time I pull it out, that's what we have, a wet plug. So our goal is, hopefully, the K-seal done the job. If it has, great. So I don't have to pull the head gasket apart, the head off the car, and put a new head gasket and all. So we tried some $13 K-seal. Long story short. So, and as I mentioned to you guys, so there's the plug again. We're gonna just put one of these used plugs in here that look real decent. Best looking one. It's not, you know, sure I should be putting a brand new one in. Some of you might want to comment and say that. But guess what? I don't live, I'm actually at my second home in the country, where you sometimes use different parts that you saved. Never throw away your parts, unless they look like that plug I just showed you. So, anyway, you know, if I didn't save my extra parts, what would happen? I'd be out here in the country without an extra plug to replace that bad plug with, right? So that's where we're at. And if you notice how I just propped the plenum up. That's because I've taken this thing apart so many times, you guys. It's like, you know, yeah, I could take it all the way off the car and all of that. But instead of doing all of that, I know all my gaskets are good. I just put new gaskets, new manifold gaskets and everything. So it ain't like I have to look at anything. So quickest, easiest way before the freeze sets in tonight is to just prop it up. And you always want to hear a snap on these when you're putting them in. If you don't hear that snap like I hope you heard it anyway, if you could or not, but you hear a little snap and you know you're making good contact. Same thing with pushing down a coil pack onto a plug. You want to feel it go on the plug. If you don't feel it, you may have something wrong, you know. I've seen people buy different coil packs that actually did not fit. So your plug's a misfiring, everything's going crazy, and you're wondering why. And here it is, you trusted the auto parts store to give you the right product. And they may have not, or maybe you ordered it offline. That happens a lot. People make mistakes. And you just happen to, your best bet is to stick with an auto parts store if that threw you for a loop a little bit right there. Because the coil packs can be different, but yet you don't think it's supposed to be any different. You put it on, don't quite touch don't make good contact with the plug. Something like that happens and you got issues. And then you're wondering what the hell to do. So there you have it. Let's check this out. Good. Okay. Looks good. Okay, so now we just put it back together. Put it back together and take it from there. And we'll see if that works. But always keep your plugs handy, guys, your extra plugs. So anyway, this is what's happening with this car. Chrysler 300 2008 2.7 liter. Yeah. Plug's falling out. Every time I put a new plug in, it would fall it out. Had the code red, it come up with head gasket, which is pretty intense. Take the valve cover, take the head off, take all your pulleys off the front because the timing chain has to come off to get this head off right here. If I wanted to do the gasket in between the block and the head gasket itself, and then you have to wonder whether you should have your head reworked. Personally, sometimes you're out in the country and you just want to attempt to do $8 part, the head gasket. You can attempt that, but if you do all that work and your head's warped or cracked or something's wrong there, then you know, personally, I could get away with a head gasket. Quite sure, because I'm the only person that drives this car, and I know it did not get hot enough, in my opinion, to do any damage, but we are talking about aluminum. We're dealing with aluminum here, so anyway, that's the goal, is to get it back together, and hopefully the K-seal does the job. I added it, and I didn't get to finish the video and upload it, but I'll upload that too. All I did was warm the car up to operating temperature, left the radiator cap off, the overflow tank. You know, sometimes you have to open up the bottom radiator hose and pour it in there when you're gonna do a, it's over there. Pour it into that way you get past the thermostat. But I mean, bottom line is I read the instructions on the K-seal, and it said warm the car up, get it to normal operating temperature so the thermostat is open so it flows through to seal the head gasket leak that is under there. And that's where it's at. So anyway, I'll let you guys know how this works out in the next video. I hope some of this was explanatory. When you're putting this plenum back down, you make sure and you tighten up the first 4 on the inside, and you know, torque them down decently. Don't over tighten them ever now. These cars could have used some better stuff to manufacture the vehicle with. It's easy to make mistakes if you're not careful, so I would just advise you that you take your time. If you have any questions on the Chrysler 300 2.7 and I might be able to help out with it, just let me know. I've changed every sensor on the car except the transmission speed sensor, which I believe I might have 2 of those. So anyway, I got 365,000 miles, so 366,000 now I believe on this car. So just let me know if you have any questions that I may be able to help you out with. All right. So we already did our new gaskets the last time we pulled this off. So we got on that. Thank you.